Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Migulaitor and I'm terribly sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Now he is in the Bismarck, the tier 8 German battleship. He is on the map Loop in a 3-point domination game mode. It's a tier 9 battle, but there are not very many tier 9s around. And the friendly team has one more destroyer. That's a nice advantage in a domination game. Now, Migulaitor announced that he is going towards Point Charlie, and he is asking the Leningrad here to accompany them. Leningrad decides to go towards the center instead. Usually in a 3-point domination game mode you wanna get 2 capture points that are next to each other, so either Bravo and Charlie or Alpha and Bravo. And for some reason the destroyer favors Alpha and Bravo, even though 2 people in the team already said they're going Charlie. But anyway, it looks like the majority of the team is coming here towards C. So I guess B and C it is. Now they don't have a destroyer here, which is sad. All 3 destroyers are going towards the center. It would be better if they'd spread out a little more and try to cover 2 points with destroyers. But, well, we shall see how this works out. Now it looks like here on the left side the Colorado is also joining us here in the center. The Baltimore probably hasn't loaded into the game yet. It looks like the majority of the friendly players are focusing on 2 points. That's already nice. Also looks like the enemies aren't interested in Point Charlie, which means the enemies get basically Alpha for free, the friendlies get Charlie for free, and then there is hopefully a big role for the center. So far we have friendly destroyers capping. Migulaitor is still continuing towards Point Charlie. It's going straight there, which is pretty nice if there is no opposition. Just go in there, capture it, and then sail towards the center and reinforce the team there. Now for some reason this Baltimore has not started and is going towards Point Alpha. That's not a choice. I mean, we can already see major opposition there and no support. There is no reason for the Baltimore to not just join the friendly forces here in the center. So I guess general advice, before you decide where you go at the beginning of the battle, check your minimap. Now we speed it up here a little bit. With this point secure, all ships should really just move towards the center and support the friendly forces there. And Migulaitor is trying to get around the back of the enemy and flank them, which might work out pretty well. Let's hope that the center can hold long enough for the friendly forces to arrive. And now here he has some nice broadside shots at a Bismarck. And there seems to be a Chapayev coming this way. Now friendly team is still trying to get that center, but the enemy team is contesting it. And let's see, it looks like the Chapayev is showing broadside for no reason. That's nice, it's nice. And yeah, that's one less Chapayev. Now, unfortunately, when we look here at the minimap, the North Carolina here is in a pretty bad spot. He is too far behind. There is no enemy here at the zone wall to find. This point is secure and he is needed in the center and he is very far away from that. Now, Migulaitor here is leading the charge. This small force here of like 3 battleships and a cruiser, it looks like, is going around the back and hopefully flanking the enemy forces. Still looking okay for the friendlies. Let's hope the destroyers in the center can hold on a little bit longer because the reinforcements are on the way. This Atago is also taking a way too safe route. There is no reason for the Atago to be. Atago should be here with the battleships maybe slightly behind and pushing in there. Now so far it actually looks okay. Good ship-wise for the friendly team, and with the massive force here coming around to flank, maybe the friendly team can make something work. And oh, there goes one friendly destroyer. And it looks like a second destroyer is eating a lot of damage as well. That's bad. There is a Miyoko sitting here, and as you see, the Miyoko was not expecting ships to come around from the back. He can't maneuver out of there fast enough, and that Miyoko is, well, probably done for. Easily done. Now, ship-wise, it's pretty even. The enemies have started capping, but it shouldn't matter that much now. Migulaitor is turning around here, and he's currently presenting his broadside towards the enemies. That's not a good idea, but if he continued his course, he would have sailed too close to the Tirpitz, and the Tirpitz has torpedoes. Now, Germans have pretty good citadel protection, but as we've just seen, that doesn't matter that much. If you show full broadside to an enemy battleship, you can expect to eat massive amounts of damage. But yes, Migulaitor's course change was because, well, we can see the torpedoes here. If you get too close to a Tirpitz, it's bad news for you. The advantage of the Bismarck is if you stay far enough away that you can profit from your good secondaries and not get hit by the torpedoes. Now, friendly Tirpitz here coming in, and I guess that enemy Tirpitz is soon gone. And here we can see in the back, I'm not sure this Mogami has held this position for a while. It's possible that the Mogami has crashed or something. The Atago is, well, so far in the back that he can't do anything. North Carolina the same, so basically two ships that are not participating in this battle. And that's a problem. Well, 3 ships with the Mogami here after. Now the 3 battleships here are continuing the push here inside, and there is a Gneisenau. Now Gneisenau, again the problem, Gneisenau has torpedoes. 6-kilometer range, and that Gneisenau is pretty close already. It's the way he's turning, he might just launch them, but if Migulaitor keeps pushing towards that Gneisenau, he is probably for a bad surprise. And even worse, there is an island, so he can't continue his turn here. And there is also a U-Boot. Now he is switching target to the destroyer. The destroyer is the greatest threat here. Hopefully he can deal with it. Now he's currently again showing quite a bit of broadside, but the problem was, well, I can unlock the camera. You see there is this island. So he was kind of forced into this course. Migulaitor is getting fairly low health-wise. Friendly Tirpitz here charged right into the cap, a little bit too aggressive. He should have stayed here. I can understand why the Tirpitz wanted to do it, but they still have to hope that those ships will arrive at the battle at some point, and the friendly team wants to fight in a position where those 2 ships could help once they arrive. Now, Migulaitor is showing maybe a little bit too much broadside. I guess, again, he doesn't want to commit into a push here. He doesn't want to get too close to the Gneisenau. And he wants to get the most use out of his guns and his secondaries. He also really doesn't want to turn away that much and abandon his Scharnhorst. So, tough spots all around. The Scharnhorst is also done for. The Colorado here in the north is still rather healthy, but he is too far away from the friendly ships. That Colorado is probably trying to kite those enemies up there. Let's hope he can keep him busy. And, well, some very nice hits against the Hipper. So hopefully that Hipper will go down to the secondaries. Or, well, the Atago finished him off, that also works. Now Migulaitor has to be very careful with his low health. He has to play conservatively here. The North Carolina is still basically at full health, and the Atago I think as well, so he is trying to get to his allies. Unfortunately his allies aren't making it easy. They are like way too far in the south. They should have been more aggressive 10 minutes ago. So, yeah. It looks like the Gneisenau is showing broadside. Maybe he can get some nice hits. Also, the Gneisenau is still in secondary range, but I think soon he will escape. Well, and also the Colorado here in the north is done for. The Mogami that has been AFK for a long time will probably go down soon. So that leaves kind of 3 ships in the friendly team. They will also soon lose their last capture point, so the friendly team has to make something work. But Migulaitor is in the awkward position where he has so little health that he can't really push. And he has 2 allies who could push but just aren't willing to. So the best use for Migulaitor's ship here is to provide support from the second line with so little health, so he wants the others to push and he wants to stay behind them and use his guns. But if he wants to stay behind them, he kind of has to sail outside the map, because kind of a frustrating situation. So the friendly team could try to push towards Point Alpha. There are 2 defenders here, or they could try to defend Charlie, I guess. The enemy team is separated, so the friendly team could make something of that if they aggressively sailed into one of the 2 directions here. But again, their teammates are aggressively sailing away from the fight towards the zone wall. And I think Migulaitor might be a bit frustrated at this point. Now he has decided to choose Point Charlie, and I'm afraid he won't be fast enough to stop them. Now there is some hope that those 2 ships might have split up. And maybe Migulaitor can make something happen. He still has 1 heal left. And if those friendly ships make up their mind and actually go someplace where there is a battle, yeah. Maybe they can still make it happen, but yeah, they're losing their last point. They are in a bad spot, friendlies. And they have to make something fast. So Migulaitor is trying to communicate with his teammates and advises them to go get a capture point. And here we see almost full health Ibuki and a tier pit. So those aren't very nice odds. Migulaitor is holding his fires here. He is angling a bit towards the tier pits. After the shells arrive, he is now turning his ship, and he held his fire to use his guns at the broadside Ibuki, which turned out quite nicely. Unfortunately, the Ibuki is still floating. Now again, this is a tier pit, you don't wanna get too close because of the torpedoes. If Migulaitor can stay in a range where he can use his secondaries, but be outside of the tier pit's torpedoes and secondaries, he has the advantage. Now that Ibuki should go down soon. Leaves the tier pits. Now of course there is the argument to be made, he could just push Tone Point Charlie, because if they don't do something, they're screwed anyway. And also there are the Ibuki's torpedoes, which he is evading nicely. He is using hydroacoustic, so he was quite safe, because he saw them in time. Now point-wise, as I said, the friendly team has to make something happen. But turning your ship around and going into Point Charlie, I don't think he can make anything happen at this point. He needs to sink the tier pits, basically, so he needs every shred of damage, every bit he can. Against that, it looks like the Atago might be helping here. And there are torpedoes on the way, maybe those help. Migulaitor is showing a little bit too much broadside maybe currently, but I guess at this point he's just risking everything to get a few more secondary hits in. I mean, you know, this battle is pretty desperate. Either he sinks the tier pits in the next probably 30 seconds, or the battle is lost anyway. There is also a battle between the Gneisenau and the North Carolina here on the left side, so maybe that North Carolina can make something happen. Maybe he can get down that Gneisenau. I mean, point-wise, it's getting closer and closer, so he needs some good hits here. still not quite. The Tirpitz is losing health, and there is the loss. So the North Carolina went down, the enemies reached 1000 points, and the battle was lost. Migulaitor managed to get 2159 base experience, which is more than anyone on the winning team. Which is more than twice as much than the second best player on the friendly team. Yeah, he had an amazing battle, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough. The one AFK player was a bit problematic, and the ships too far on the outskirts that just didn't join the battle until it was almost over. A bit unfortunate. But it happens. Anyway, Migulaitor achieved Close Quarters Expert twice, Dreadnought, Kraken, Devastating Strike, High Caliber, and Confederate. He scored 276,000 points of damage. And yeah, it was a pleasure to watch, even though if the ending was a bit sad. I always like to see the secondaries fly, and I hope you enjoyed watching this battle as well. And I'll see you guys next time.